All right, so have you ever actually stopped and thought about why we consume the specific media we do? I mean, why that exact magazine or that specific show? Well, today we are jumping straight into the fascinating psychology behind all of that. We're going to decode audience behavior, and to do it, we're using a really perfect case study, the highly revered music publication, Mojo Magazine.
Picture this. You're standing in front of a massive newsstand, or, maybe just scrolling through a seemingly endless digital feed. What hidden motivations actually drive you to pick a specific publication right off the shelf? Like, why do totally devoted readers seek out Mojo Magazine month after month, year after year? It's not just an accident, no way. And it's definitely not random. There is actually a massive, powerful psychological engine driving that exact choice.
To figure that out, we need to look through a very specific academic lens, which is called the Uses and Gratifications Theory. Now, this theory is a real game changer because it fundamentally flips the script on how we used to think about audiences. It basically says, hey, we are not just passive sponges soaking up whatever the media throws at us. Instead, we actively seek out specific media to fulfill distinct personal needs and desires. We literally use the media to gratify our own internal cravings.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The theory of audience appeal. 2. Reinforcing your personal identity. 3. Gathering essential music information. 4. Pure entertainment and escapism. And 5. Social interaction and ritual.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, the theory of audience appeal, decoding the framework.
The whole foundation of what we're talking about today rests on this single, absolutely crucial concept. Media consumption isn't passive. It fulfills specific needs. When a reader picks up a copy of Mojo Magazine, they're actually putting it to work. They are essentially hiring that magazine to perform a specific function in their life. Maybe they need to feel connected, or maybe they just need an escape, or perhaps they need to reinforce exactly who they are.
Which brings us to Section 2, reinforcing your personal identity, seeing yourself in the pages.
So Mojo Magazine explicitly targets, and I quote, lovers of authentic music. Now, when you read that, it instantly does something psychological. If you consider yourself a bit of a music purist, picking up this specific magazine completely validates that internal belief. You're not just reading about music anymore. You are proudly holding a badge that screams to the world, I am a lover of authentic music.
And what's super interesting here is exactly how Mojo goes about reinforcing this identity. It's not just some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's tied to really specific classic rock values, things like authenticity, passion, and taking popular music seriously. For the typical Mojo reader, music isn't just, background noise for the morning commute. It is high art. And the magazine validates that entire worldview. It basically looks the reader in the eye and says, you are totally right to take this seriously, and guess what? We do too.
Just look at how they package that validation. They purposefully feature a legendary musician on the cover every single month. They don't just slap anyone on the front. They put aspirational role models right there, center stage. So readers get to look at those legendary figures and directly identify with them, basically bridging the gap between their own personal identity and the sheer greatness of the artist they admire.
All right, moving on to Section 3, gathering essential music information, staying in the loop.
Mojo really functions as this essential, meticulously organized resource for its readers. You've got the What Goes On section to keep you updated with quick music news and rising artists. Then there's Real Gone, which functions as a vital obituary section honoring those who have passed. Ask Fred directly answers reader questions. Filter acts as this massive cultural curation tool, reviewing music, books, TV, and film. And finally, you've got the How to Buy purchasing guides. So a reader is literally using this magazine as a highly curated database to gather the exact info they need to maintain their status as a knowledgeable music fan.
Next up, Section 4, pure entertainment and escapism, the joy of reading.
Because, let's be honest, media has to be fun, right? The Uses and Gratifications Theory points out that we often use media simply to be entertained, and Mojo absolutely delivers this through immediate, tangible perks. We're talking striking visuals that are just a total feast for the eyes, and of course, free gifts like CDs. I mean, even if you haven't owned a CD player in a decade, right? These tactile, visually exciting elements provide this instant dopamine hit. It's just the pure physical pleasure of holding a premium product in your hands.
But the really crucial point here is that this entertainment goes way deeper than just a free CD. The magazine offers the thrill of gossip, the allure of attractive stars, and honestly, most importantly, pure escapism. For the hour or two that a reader is buried in the pages of Mojo, they actually get to take a break from their everyday life. They are transported right out of their living room or their crowded commute and plunge straight into the glamorous, gritty, and totally fascinating world of bands and artists. That emotional escape, that is a massive gratification.
And that brings us to our final pillar, Section 5, Social Interaction and Ritual, Connecting Through Media. To really wrap our heads around this, we have to look at two very different social functions the magazine serves for its audience. It provides ammunition for edgy debate out in the real world, while at the exact same time providing a deep sense of comforting familiarity internally.
First up, the edgy debate side of things. Magazines provide the exact news and content that spark real-life conversations. Mojo actually features a specific section of obscure recommendations called Mind Blowers. By equipping readers with this incredibly niche, edgy trivia, the magazine is actively handing them social currency. The reader can take this totally obscure knowledge down to the pub, or a dinner party, or an online forum, and use it to spark passionate debates with their peers. They are literally using the media to fuel their own social interactions.
Then, on the flip side of that edgy debate, you have comforting familiarity. Because magazines follow a set format month after month, consuming them becomes this deeply satisfying ritual. Just look at the regular sections that anchor this magazine: What Goes On, the core features, filter, and all back to my place. Knowing exactly where to find these sections and knowing exactly what kind of tone they're going to strike gives readers a profound sense of calm and comfort in what is otherwise a pretty chaotic world.
And I gotta say, the source material captures this dynamic absolutely perfectly. The ritual of reading these familiar sections is, quote, like catching up with a reliable friend. That right there is the ultimate social gratification. Even if you are sitting completely alone in a room reading, the predictable structure and that familiar voice of the magazine make you feel accompanied. You feel like you're part of a community.
So when we pull the whole shebang together, the big takeaway is super clear. Reading isn't just some mindless consumption. It is a powerful, multifaceted ritual. Whether you're actively reinforcing your identity as an authentic music lover, gathering essential info to stay in the loop, escaping the daily grind through striking visuals, or just seeking the comfort of a reliable friend, you are actively using media to gratify your deepest needs. And Mojo Magazine just happens to be a total masterclass in hitting every single one of those notes perfectly.
But here's the thing. This framework doesn't just apply to classic rock magazines. It applies to absolutely everything we consume. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. The next time you open an app, or turn on a show, or pick up a book, take a quick second to ask yourself, what uses and gratifications are driving your media choices? What is that specific piece of media really doing for you today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. And hey, keep asking those great questions.